Elon Musk's secret message for you. Hey, you. Yeah, the one reading this right now. It might feel a bit odd hearing from someone you've probably only seen in headlines or videos, but this is directed straight at you. If you're up for it, drop a note saying "message received" so I can share what I've been holding on to just for folks like you. The media paints a picture of my life that's all glamour and breakthroughs, but they miss the real story, the quiet moments when I ponder the everyday people tuning in, wondering about their own paths. Maybe you're doubting if your ambitions are realistic, or if you're past your prime to chase them. Perhaps you've stumbled too many times, or feel like you haven't left a mark yet. Let me assure you, you're right on track, even if it doesn't feel that way amid the chaos or confusion. Every trailblazer began precisely where you are, uncertain, underprepared, without a roadmap. Back when I was in my mid-20s, I was buried under $40,000 of loans, crashing in a cramped rental with roommates. My diet? Mostly ramen and cheap sausages for months on end. Sleepless nights were the norm, questioning if I was delusional for believing I could build anything worthwhile. No corporate background, no influential network, no fallback plan. What kept me going was a burning curiosity about innovation and a refusal to quit. Deep down, I was thrilled by the challenge of cracking tough puzzles, even if it seemed out of reach. There was this one low point where I had barely enough cash for a couple weeks' rent. Job applications piled up with rejections. One interviewer dismissed my lack of credentials, another called my visions pie in the sky. I started buying into it. Maybe I was chasing shadows. But then it hit me. Those critics were stuck in the status quo, blind to fresh possibilities. That's a lesson for you. Never let someone else's narrow view cap your potential. If they can't spot the worth in your ideas, it doesn't mean they're worthless. Launching my initial projects? Everyone warned it was a gamble. Buddies pushed for stable gigs with reliable income. Relatives fretted I was sabotaging my future. I questioned myself daily. We bombed out several times, each flop draining funds we desperately needed. After the fourth big wipeout, we were down to our final shot. The evening before, I couldn't sleep, palms sweaty, gut churning, replaying every potential disaster. What if it crashes and burns? What if I've squandered years? But I refocused on the core issue I aimed to fix, the game-changing impact it could have. That drive outweighed the panic. Come morning, it clicked, not flawlessly, but enough to push onward. The takeaway? Sometimes, you bet it all on your convictions, fear be damned. I'm opening up like this because I want you to grasp a key truth. What separates achievers from the rest isn't genius, fortune, or insider access. It's grit, the choice to press on when odds scream defeat. You're likely facing hurdles that loom large: money woes, health battles, rocky relationships, professional dead ends. Or juggling family duties while keeping your head above water. Or wrestling with mental fog that drains your days. I can't fix them, but know this: the toughness that's carried you through before is still there, ready to adapt and endure. If you're in your later years, you've got an edge youth lacks: hard-earned insight. You've weathered booms and busts, shifts in society, heartbreaks and rebounds. That's wisdom no classroom imparts, gold in today's whirlwind world. Kids bring vigor and bold concepts, but often miss the nuance of real-world navigation. Your blend of savvy and depth is precisely what's called for. Ignore anyone saying age bars you from fresh starts. I've met a guy who pivoted to tech consulting at 58 after decades in manufacturing. A woman who launched a sustainable farm at 60, post-retirement. Think of Ray Kroc, who franchised McDonald's at 52. Or Julia Child, debuting her cookbook at 50. Sam Walton opened his first Walmart at 44, after years of other jobs. They thrive not on youth's fire, but on purpose and tenacity. Feeling like past decisions locked you out? Safe choices over bold ones, skipped schooling, early commitments, or wrong turns in location. Listen, no choice is a dead end, they're all detours shaping your story. Regrets build character. You can't rewind, but you can harness those lessons for smarter moves ahead. Your spot today isn't your endpoint. Limits exist only in the myth of too late. As long as you've got breath and passion, the door's open. For the younger crowd, you've got tools we older folks only dreamed of: endless knowledge at your fingertips, global networks, bootstrapped ventures from a laptop. But that bounty brings its own weight: pressure to have it all sorted young, eyeing peers who seem ahead. It's a mirage. Behind every polished facade is private turmoil. No one's got it figured out, we're all improvising. Winners dive in raw, iterating through action rather than overplanning. And remember, world-shaking feats aren't required for impact. Quiet wins count huge: the mentor sparking a kid's potential, the volunteer stocking shelves at a shelter, the colleague offering a lifeline in crisis. These ripple out, enriching lives without fanfare. You don't need a badge to tackle issues that irk you, no elite degree to aid a struggling friend, no nod from pros to test novel fixes. Spot a gap? Act small, chat with an isolated senior, organize a community cleanup, back a local initiative. One move leads to more, and suddenly, you've shifted the tide. Folks often confess they yearn to contribute but freeze, awaiting the stars to align: flawless timing, credentials, setup. Spoiler, that wait's endless. Jump now, skills grow en route. Conditions? Forge them yourself. Outsiders often crack codes insiders can't, unboxed by tradition. Your fresh lens, quirky history, singular outlook. That's your superpower. The globe craves unconventional minds challenging norms, blending backgrounds to reframe stubborn dilemmas. No issues too trivial. Big waves start as ripples. The inventor of the sticky note fixed a minor annoyance. The creator of ride-sharing apps eased a daily hassle. Sparks fly from overlooked frustrations. To those reeling from flops, a venture tanked, savings lost, naysayers urging retreat, flops aren't defeats, they're data. They reveal pitfalls, hone edges, build unbreakable resolve. True defeat? Quitting cold. Keep tweaking, probing, your prototyping victory. In the thick of it, mountains feel unclimbable. But recall, every conqueror stared down the same abyss. My ramen days? Endless. Startup craters? Soul-crushing. Near broke brink? Terrifying. Yet they passed. Persistence, growth, allies turned the tide. Yours will too, quicker than you think, in unexpected ways. But it demands motion when motivation lags, study when exhaustion hits, outreach when ego resists. On that note, seeking aid. I resisted it ages, viewing it as shortfall. Wrong. Titans lean on teams, mentors, cheerleaders, connectors. Your circle aches to assist, they hold keys you lack. Swallow pride, it's strategy, not surrender. Success loops back, aid others, elevate all. To misfits, age gap drifters, oddball thinkers, passion outliers, that alienation stings, but it's fuel. Disruptors defy molds, spotting blind spots conformists ignore. Embrace your outlier vibe, seek or build havens that prize it. Growth zigzags, not straight shoots. Peaks crash into plateaus or dips across jobs, bonds, wellness. Victors weather storms without bailing. Savor highs humbly, endure lows knowing their phases. Anchor to your North Star amid turbulence. Luck? It smiles on the ready. Prep sharpens serendipity, skill up, network wide, track trends, fuel your drive. More shots mean more hits. Don't chase fate, court it. And ditch envy, paths diverge, battles vary. Measure against your yesterday, cheer micro wins. Your rhythm, your wins, your terms. Finally, fear of flops, triumphs, scrutiny, upheaval, inertia. It's universal, signaling stakes worth the sweat. Bold souls aren't fearless, they charge through it, drawn by the thrill. No need to banish dread, just step past it, inch by inch. Courage. Fear plus action aligned with your truth. You're tougher, abler, more vital than you suspect. I believe in your grit to navigate and elevate. Crucially, believe in yourself. You count. Your visions count. The world awaits your distinct spark, your gaze, gifts, fervor. Dismiss, too, labels, you're primed as is. Pass this to a soul needing the nudge, it's always time for purpose. If you feel like this is speaking directly to you, drop the word message in the comments so I know you're listening, because what I'm about to share isn't for everyone. People think they know me. They see headlines, interviews, rockets, cars, controversy, innovation. But they don't see the quiet hours. They don't see the nights when I sit awake, thinking not about Mars or stock prices, but about individual people, people like you, who might be watching this, scrolling this, looking for a reason to keep believing in themselves. I imagine someone sitting alone, feeling like their dreams are too far away, or too small to matter. Feeling too old to start again, too young to be taken seriously, or too burdened by mistakes to believe another chance is possible. If that's you, let me tell you something personal. I've failed more times than most people have even tried. And yet, here I am, proof that failure isn't a stop sign. You are exactly where you need to be right now. That might be hard to believe, especially if life feels heavy. But every single person who has built something meaningful started exactly where you are, uncertain, unready, scared. When I was in my early 20s, I didn't have a master plan. No connections. No backup. Just curiosity, a stubborn refusal to quit, and a burning need to work on problems that mattered, even though I had no idea how to solve them. I remember living in a cramped apartment, drowning in debt, eating the cheapest food I could find, pasta and hot dogs, for weeks. Lying awake at night wondering if I'd made the biggest mistake of my life. Everyone around me seemed to have safer plans, clearer paths. And me? I just had this weird, wild belief that I could make something better. Job applications got rejected. Investors told me my ideas were unrealistic. Friends and family worried I was wasting my time. Some nights, so did I. But then one thought saved me: the people rejecting my ideas weren't the people who needed them. They were looking through the lens of what had already been done. I was looking through the lens of what could be done. That's when I learned something I want you to remember. Don't let other people's limitations become your limitations. When I finally launched my first real venture, everyone said it was reckless. After repeated failures, we were down to one last attempt. If it didn't work, everything would collapse. I remember lying awake the night before, hands shaking, thinking about all the ways it could go wrong. But then I remembered why I started, what problem I was trying to solve, and that purpose was bigger than my fear. The next day, it worked. Not perfectly, but enough to keep going. Enough to grow. Enough to prove that sometimes you have to risk everything for what you believe in, even when you're terrified. That's the real difference between the people who eventually succeed and the ones who don't. It's not talent. Not luck. Not connections. It's the choice to keep going when everything screams at you to stop. Right now, you might be facing challenges that feel impossible. Financial pressure. Health battles. Relationship struggles. Maybe you're caring for family while trying to hold your own life together. Maybe you're fighting anxiety or depression that makes every day feel uphill. I can't solve those problems for you. But I can tell you this, the same strength that's gotten you this far is still inside you right now. It hasn't left you. It hasn't disappeared. If you're older, you've survived things younger people haven't even seen yet. You have perspective. You've weathered storms. You've learned lessons that can't be Googled. That's power. Don't let anyone tell you it's too late. Colonel Sanders launched KFC at 62. Laura Ingalls Wilder published her first book at 65. Frank McCourt wrote his bestseller at 66. Grandma Moses started painting in her 70s. They succeeded not because they were young, but because they had something meaningful to offer and refused to stay silent. If you're younger, you have access to opportunities past generations could only dream of. But don't let the illusion of perfection on social media trick you into thinking everyone else has it figured out. They don't. Everyone is making it up as they go. Everyone feels unprepared. The ones who succeed aren't the ones who feel ready. They're the ones who start anyway. And don't think you have to change the world to make a difference. Some of the most powerful impacts happen quietly: a teacher inspiring one student, a neighbor checking on someone elderly, a volunteer at a food bank, a friend who listens without judgment. That's real change. You don't need permission. You don't need special credentials. You don't need anyone's approval. Start with what bothers you most. Take one small step. Then another. That's how revolutions, big and small, begin. If you're dealing with failure right now, remember this: failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every rejection teaches you. Every setback builds resilience. The only true failure is giving up forever. Progress is never a straight line. It rises, it dips, it stalls, it surprises you. Don't quit during the dip. That's where most people stop, right before the breakthrough. And yes, luck matters. But luck favors those who prepare, those who show up, those who keep learning, keep trying, keep putting themselves in places where good things might happen. You can't control when opportunities come, but you can control whether you're ready when they do. Don't compare your journey to someone else's highlight reel. Don't measure your timeline against theirs. Your pace is your own. Your definition of success is your own. Focus on that. And about fear, because I know you feel it, fear of failure, fear of change, fear of staying the same. Fear isn't proof you're weak. Fear is proof you're on the edge of something important. The people who change things aren't fearless, they act despite the fear. Courage isn't about not feeling scared. It's about feeling scared and taking the next step anyway. Start small. Then take another step. Then another. You'll look up one day and realize you've gone further than you thought possible. You are stronger than you think. More capable than you believe. You have something the world needs: your perspective, your voice, your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you you're too old, too young, too inexperienced, or too ordinary. You're not too anything. You're exactly who you're supposed to be, with exactly the experiences you've had, at exactly this moment. That's what makes you valuable. If you needed a sign, this is it. Share this with someone who needs to be reminded it's not too late. And then ask yourself, what's the one dream you've been putting off? The world is waiting for your step forward. This was Elon Musk's secret message for you. Now it's yours to live.